change you want to see? This Next Foundation has been doing it since they were founded, and this Next mom has been just pushing it through. I want to welcome the Pete Foundation, who is here. Molly Jones joining me now. It is always good to see you. I wish I didn't have to see you, if you know what I mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, I wish I did. Or I wish I saw you and we were just here to celebrate because we had made sure that mental health didn't have any type of a stigma. You're here because of that.
I'm here because of that. And that day will come when we'll sit together and say, remember when, how crazy it was and there was a stigma, and there won't be one anymore. And healthcare for mental health issues will be so different than the way we see it today.
It is changing already, and so that part is good. But do you really think we'll meet that day where people can just talk about being anxious, talk about being depressed, talk about being sad, and companies actually, here's the thing, and companies, businesses actually recognize that that's okay, the world recognizes that that's okay?
Yes, they'll recognize that, and our healthcare system will have plenty of resources to properly and adequately treat all of those people. I believe that. We've done it with other healthcare issues. Look what happened with AIDS, HIV. We've really made a big change there.
We have. Still got a long way to go.
We got a long way to go, but it's so different than it was just 40 years ago. Same thing with breast cancer is so different
used to be
now
the
than
C
40
word.
years.
Wouldn't say cancer, it'd say it's the C word.
Yeah. So it will change. I know it will.
I ask you this just because I think it's important. It is the Pete Foundation, and I want to always ask you about the Pete in the Pete Foundation.
I know, you always like to talk about him. He was a wonderful guy.
Right? You don't want to forget him.
No. I think about him every day, obviously, from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed.
Surely you do.
That's the way moms do. That's the way parents do, brothers do, sisters do, friends do. You never forget the people that you love. And he was a wonderful person, and it just proved to us that this world is losing a lot of wonderful people needlessly through poorly treated, poorly diagnosed mental health care.
Yeah. And so I will always call his name. I will always call your family's name in prayer. So this is huge. The Big Stomp and the Pete Foundation, this raises money for awareness and also for health care. You got some changes in this. My son, who I just said was watching, was excited about your lineup, and some of the folks, you have some of his friends will actually be performing this year. Tell us about the differences in the Big Stomp this year and what's going on.
A big difference is the location. We've moved to the waterfront. The waterfront development group was happy to welcome us. They're thrilled to have us down there. We are thrilled to be down there. It makes the festival much more accessible to everybody, which is important because that helps us meet our mission about getting rid of the stigma around mental health, increasing understanding of what mental health care might look like, what resources are available. So that's a big change. Another big change is a dream come true. We always wanted to have a very motivational speaker, poetic voice at the Stomp, and we have that this year. We have our first one, our inaugural poetic voice, and we're thrilled to bring him to Louisville.
And who is that?
Sekou Andrews.
Sekou Andrews. And Sekou Andrews couldn't join us here in the studio, but he is joining us via Zoom. Sekou, how are you?
Sekou Andrews, another poet, the Big Stomp. Poetry is here.
We're so glad to have you. We're glad to have you. How's it feel to be the inaugural? I mean, this has been like a dream of Molly's to have that spoken word. And we talk to each other all the time, right? But sometimes we don't hear each other. But then you have what you all do, like that spoken word. And it goes so deep in your soul sometimes that it stays there for the longest of time, like a medicine. What is that? What is that about the spoken word?
We stick with you. We like to write words that stick with you, that stick to your brain, stick to your heart, stick to your soul. So it is an honor for me to be the inaugural poet, and it's a big part of my trajectory in my career. Honestly, I just celebrated my 22nd year as a full-time spoken word poet. 22 years ago, I quit my job as an elementary school teacher, said I'm going to dare to be a spoken word poet, whatever that is. And so a big part of my career has been about pushing spoken word into places where it hasn't been. So I love being first into the dark space, into the space that it hasn't been, to let a path, to create a pathway for other poets. So I'm honored that Molly has made me her first spoken word poet and public speaker at the event.
Well, Grammy nominated. We're proud of that. How do you think you're going to move this crowd? What's your plan? You don't have to give us your spoken word. That we don't want to take that. We want to say that for everybody that's there. But how do you think you'll move them?
Well, listen. So she introduced me as a poetic voice, and poetic voice is the new category of public speaking that I created over 15 years ago. And it's basically a seamless blend of inspirational speaking and spoken word poetry. So you don't know where, the poetry ends and the storytelling begins, the content ends and the entertainment begins. I wanted to create this seamless experience where it's like you're listening and you're feeling like you get content, and you're listening to a speech, and then, oh, wait, now he's rhyming. And it feels like I'm in Hamilton now. And oh, wait, now it's a powerful story, and it feels like I'm listening to a TED Talk, and I wanted to just create this seamless experience that just helps an audience constantly lean in. Now, I'm going to be on a music stage, mind you, as the first public speaker on this stage, but I come from, like you said, Grammy nominated. I have my albums. So my plan is to kind of blend the music, blend the entertainment, blend the inspiration and the spoken word to create an experience that just leaves your heart and your brain and your mind and your soul uplifted.
Well, we cannot wait. We can't wait. Molly, is there anything you want to make sure that you tell people about the Big Stomp? It is going to be Friday, July 26th, Saturday, July 27th at Waterfront, Brown-Forman Amphitheater. What else do you want folks to know?
Yeah, we'll be situated between Pig Beach, which is going to be part of the festival, and the Louisville Rowing Center. So we've got a nice big space there. We start Friday evening, gates open at 5, and then Saturday we're 11 a.m. We're going to do a QPR training, which is the question, persuade, refer. It's the CPR for a mental health crisis. We'll have that at 11 a.m. on Saturday, so we encourage people to come out for that training. It will empower you, and tickets are available online. Get your tickets online.
Well, the days that's at Friday and Saturday are going to just be unbelievable.
They will.
We thank you for what you do.
Thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you. All right, everybody, make sure thebigstomp.com. Go to that, and not only will you hear music and poetry that will move your soul, it'll be making a difference.